Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Strap into the party wagon and hold on to your pizza. You know what? Why don't we try something new? Eric, why don't you introduce us today?
Oh, I'm not very good at introduction. Put me on the
Yeah,
spot
you
right
are.
now.
Come on, man. You got this.
Oh, yeah, you go ahead. You go ahead. You go ahead. You got me
I think
on
this will
nerves
be
now.
I think this will be fun. Okay, well, if he's shy, then I'll do it. So I'll say, welcome everybody to Epic Tales from the Sewers, your source of Ninja Turtles enlightenment. Whether we're reading stories or talking to the artist and the turtle adjacent people that you love so well. My name is Justin. I'm your host with my co-host, Mr. Eric Will. Say hi, Eric.
How you doing? How you doing there, Justin?
I'm doing good, man. All right, I put you on the spot a little bit, but it's all good. So just trying to ease the mood here. We have a reoccurring guest here, a returning guest, and the current sketch off champion of Granite State Comic Con, Mr. Camillo DiPietrantonio.
Close.
I'm so close. Okay.
Hey guys.
Welcome back. You're a recurring guest now, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
So you've been on. We wanted to have you on again because we just saw the amazing cover that you did for the 40th anniversary for Ninja Turtles, and I saw that it is up for pre-order. I did pre-order. Shout out to Papa Cebo and Rob Denner who shared the link, and I ordered right from there. So it's all good. Shellheads United, I think, is the cover. But tell us about this cover, man.
Oh yeah, man. So the cover, it's actually Shellheads, Max Auction House, and Papa Cebo all together.
Okay, all right.
So that's Randy, and so they hit me up, and it's for the 40th anniversary one-shot comic, which is like 84 pages long, I think. So it's going to be a big one. And we wanted to do something different. We done a celebration scene in the sewers. I'm really happy with how it came out, man. I think it's one of my best works.
Yeah, I think it's gorgeous.
It looks it's beautiful. I'm going to be honest with you. If you have, are you going to have copies of that up in Granite?
Yeah, there's going to be copies of Granite. Yeah, unless they also out now. So.
Well, I'm going to tell Randy or Papa Cebo, like, you need to save one for me because my plan is to go up there and get one and get you to sign it and also remark it as well. I have to get something done to it. So
I've left a special spot right in the middle there for remarks. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a pizza box and I've left the spot on the pizza box empty just so I can do some cool remarks on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll have to bring mine then. So, because I pre-ordered, as I said, so, because I can't, let something like that go as being a fan. Full disclosure here, I joined Camillo's Patreon earlier in the year because I feel like you have to support the artists that you really like and really enjoy. And I mean, with this, folks can't see this, but I have a Dark Claw up on the wall up here from Camillo that I have featured prominently. So I am a big fan. So.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So this is a great cover. I am just, I say this to everybody. I'm like, when is he going to get his shot to do the interiors on the Saturday Morning Adventures? You know, I feel like you are the next logical choice after if Sarah decides to move on or if Dan Showing can't do it. You know, any thoughts on that?
Man, I'd love to, but I don't know if anyone has even noticed me, man. Like, I don't think anyone from IDW has their eyes on me or anything like that. But I'd love to, man. Like, I'm always grinding away, doing practice pages and stuff like that, in the hopes that one day, you know, I'll get that contact that I can send some pages to. But yeah, man, I think I don't know. I like to think that that's close, but it's probably still pretty far. But who knows, man? Maybe there's going to be an editor walking around Granite. Like, who knows?
Maybe.
Never know.
The writer will be there. Eric Burnham's
Yeah.
going to be there. So
Yeah, like, who knows?
Do
I'd
you
love
have
to.
any? Do you have any samples of? Do you have any samples of your interior work now? Because
On me right now?
Yeah.
Not in the room. I have some. Let me see what I got.
I like
got
this.
an old portfolio. I would like to show you newer stuff, but it's not with me. But there's a few pages in here of some turtle pages I did. I don't know if you can see. Yeah.
All right, so everyone, we're looking at this. Donatello with his goggles on is looking at device. It's a split screen. Looks like Leo on the bottom.
Holy
This
moly!
is fantastic, dude. Wow.
Yeah. If I was you, now this is just me. I would be bringing those to Granite if I was you.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. The newest stuff will come. You know.
Yeah.
It's also why, like, so last year I did a Kickstarter with my own comic, the Wonderverse, and there's a character in the Wonderverse who's a axolotl, and I've purposely designed him to look very much like a turtle, you know, because I'm like, they can be practice pages as well, you know. So yeah, hopefully one day, man. But who knows? Like that there's heaps of artists out there that never get noticed. So maybe I'm one of them. Who knows, man? Like.
So we had a conversation. I think the first time you had done a couple covers for The Last Ronin. You know, I've been lucky enough to pick up most, if not all of them. And you're featured in the Last Ronin covers book, which is really cool. I know. I think that they must be doing something like this for the Lost Years. I'm hoping. You know. Any thoughts on The Last Ronin 2? Have you been approached for doing any covers for that?
Nah, man. So you got to remember, like, all these covers I'm doing, they're retailer variants, right?
Yeah.
Which are like very different to working directly with IDW. Like, IDW will approve my work, but I have no contact with them. Like, it all goes through a retailer, you know. And like, I don't know if many people realize that, you know. Like, sometimes people come to me at a con and they're like, "Oh, you're an official artist." It's like, not really an official artist, man. Like, it's just a retailer likes my work enough to think that it could sell 1,000 copies or whatever they have to order, and they will like put up their own money to buy that 1,000 copies so they can get the artist of their choice, and that was me a few times, you know.
Oh yeah.
So
No, I pre-order from some of the Australian ones actually. You know, the shipping's a little bit more, but I mean, to get them, you know, they still have them printed and sent over here. So absolutely.
yeah,
And you are absolutely an official artist. So
I mean, I don't know yet. I don't have to call myself that yet.
I mean, you did beat off Ben Bishop. I mean,
in the sketch.
Yeah, but Ben could have done better, man. Ben could have done better. I feel like he. I don't want to say he phoned it in, but I know he's capable of better than that. Roof was the real challenge. Mike Roof was the real challenge.
He's a beast, man. You know,
Yeah.
and I mean that's the thing too. Who was the other one in there? Was
Chris Vance?
Yes, Chris Vance.
Yeah, Vance.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that there's going to come a time where people are going to recognize yourself and Chris Vance as like the next upcoming turtle artists, because I think that your work is fantastic and so is his. And I'll put Bob in that too, Bob Thackett. But you know, just when you see it, it's like, oh my God, I know this is Camillo's art, because I can see that trademark line on the beak, and it looks like how you want the turtles to look. And I don't know, I get excited about that. And similarly with Chris, like he's been doing some of these like the turtle challenge and all that. And I bid on his Leonardo and I was outbid. I was like, damn it, you know. But they're so good. But yeah, you guys are all official as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
You got published work. You know.
I mean, come on now. I mean, you got to talk to Peter and all them, and
oh yeah,
you know, last year. So I mean,
I guess maybe I don't call myself that because I want to like be complacent a little bit. You know, like if I call myself that now, then what am I when I actually get on a monthly book?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You know? So like, I want to aim for that. So like, you know, I'm not happy until I get that.
Just staying
I can see
humble.
that.
I like
Like,
it.
these covers are awesome, but these covers, like, I don't get to add anything to like the turtle lore. I don't get to say I contributed to this storyline or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one day, like that's what I want to do. So
That'd be great. Do you have ideas to bring in your own character if you were to create one, or would you hold that back for the Wonderverse?
I do have an idea, but it's not my own character. It's a character I think never got like the light of day, and I think would be cool to see, and that's Kirby, the fifth turtle
Wow,
from.
that's Eric's turtle right there. Yeah,
Yeah, so like that's what I'd like to see. You know.
nice. So when you draw Kirby, do you give him that extra finger?
I've drawn him a few times. I've drawn him with an extra finger, without an extra finger. I've drawn him with a white bandana and a black bandana. Because there wasn't even like an official design for him. There was
Yeah,
concepts,
yeah.
but not like, you know, an official design. So maybe if I get on a book, I can like add some of my own flair to it, you know?
Yeah,
Dude, I'm
that's.
so happy to hear that. I really
I knew
am.
you would be.
I really am.
Yeah, the thing is like they've given us a fifth turtle a few times. You know, like we've gotten Genicon, we've gotten you know, Venus has come back. So maybe I don't know. Maybe it's like it's sort of milking it too much, doing a fifth turtle again. But I reckon if we make him a villain or something, that could be cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think so. Like, and I mean, we've had like the Dark Leonardo and all that too. So it's
Yeah.
like it makes for good storytelling when you have to break up the family dynamic and they're conflicted. So
Yeah.
it's just good storytelling. You know, I think
It's
so.
just like it's such a shame that like that fourth movie never got made and we never got to see him. You know?
Well, I mean, I mean, I can only imagine with the sliding quality that they had from the third movie, would it have been worthy is the question. Like, or would it have been like the next mutation, but they put it on screen?
See,
Well,
I
who knows? Yeah.
who knows? Like me personally, I kind of feel with the fourth one, it kind of seemed to me it was a little bit gonna be going back to the dark and gritty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was meant to be a straight to video movie.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. But like those concepts they had in that movie, like of like Raphael becoming that mutated monster and like Mikey being able to turn human. Like I think that was the only time you could ever do those ideas. Because if you were to do them now, all the fans would complain. Like we don't want to see human turtles. We don't want to see that. You know. So that would have been like a unique opportunity to do those things where perhaps no one would have hated on it. You know.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting too because I know with NECA has these ideas to bring out like the animated series. Like, oh, here's this figure from a cartoon. It's like some obscure thing. You never know because they may do the human Mikey because they did that in one of the episodes. So
Yeah.
but again, that's a niche audience for the toys. That's not necessarily like, oh, that's mainstream. Let's do that with the turtles. Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked in Gargoyles briefly, but only briefly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Who would like to see a NECA figure of Camillo's Kirby?
Oh
Who'd
yeah,
buy it?
yeah, absolutely. So,
I was just about to say, imagine how cool the Kirby toys would be.
oh man, I look if I get my choice, I'm gonna tell you, and this may be a hot take, but I'm gonna say I would rather have a Super 7 version of Camillo's Turtles because that to me is closer to his design with the big pronounced beak, you know, and
Mhm.
it looks closer to like the original Playmates line. That's where I would go with it rather than NECA. And I say that with literally, I just got the new Michelangelo, the Ronin Michelangelo, which looks so amazing that it's ridiculous. But
Mhm. I
you
got the
know,
Raphael.
yeah. And I mean, these are clearly my favorites, but
I
yeah,
gotta get my hands on those, man. When I come back to Granite, I'm gonna like hit up a Target and try to like buy as many toys as I can.
oh yeah, get something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking for some of those, I can
Yeah,
grab
just let us
their.
know. Yeah.
Just let us know.
I'll let you know, man. Because
Yeah.
those toys are hard to find here. Like I managed to find the last Ronin NECA. Like this one here. That one.
Oh yeah.
I could find. You want the black and white version?
we'll talk offline about it. So we'll
Yeah.
we don't need to.
Gotcha.
You know,
Yeah.
like definitely. And I mean, this is an action figure collector's dream. And I mean, last time you were on, we talked about this, and you know, the whole idea of the original Turtles line and all of that. Do you think that there's ever going to be a time where you can get the Wonderverse produced in toys, something like that?
Well, I'm working on the next issue, not of the Wonderverse, but I've picked one. You know how like it was 3 short stories. I've picked one of them to like move forward with, so to speak. So I'm working on that, and who knows, man? Like maybe like the plan is to do the first 8 pages and then straight away send that off to some publishers,
Okay.
and then continue to finish it and do a Kickstarter for it. But like who knows? Man? I reckon like the character I'm going with is Axel, the axolotl, the first story, and I think he would make a cool toy.
Oh, definitely.
I actually think he'd make a cool character within the turtle universe. You know, like I think he'd be cool with the turtles. You know,
You should always hold on to those rights. Always.
Yeah.
You know, it's just especially when you got something cool. You know, you can do a crossover, and then there you go. But yeah, I thought it was awesome. I love the design of it. You know, clearly my favorite. And what was the name of the guy who was kind of like a Sasquatch?
So he didn't have a name. So that story was called the BOM, the Bureau of Monsters.
Okay.
So he was just he was like they called him the Asset. He was just a beast they were after. But and then there was the last story called Captain Awesome. But yeah, I'm focusing on the first one, and Dungeon Rob Denner, he's written me the story. So
oh, okay, cool.
the
Yeah,
writer of this book, yeah, and he's done an awesome job, man. Like I read the script and I've started like mapping out the pages because the plan is to have the book done and the Kickstarter finished for when I come to Granite. So he's finished the story and I've read it and I've mapped out like the first 10 to 15 pages, and he's done an awesome job, man. Real awesome job.
What are you looking for the Kickstarter? How much do you need to get it going?
Well, I'm drawing it all myself. All right. So I think the last Kickstarter, the goal was 1,000 Australian. So I think that'll be about the same. I won't start the Kickstarter unless the book is finished, because I don't want to like have people waiting or whatever. Like I know that like if I don't get it done, the chances of me getting busy with another project and then delaying the Kickstarter is going to be like highly likely. So it won't be put up until I finish the book. But yeah, probably the goal will probably be about the same as the last one, which was 1,000 US. Sorry, 1,000 Australian, which is like 800 US.
Nice. Okay.
It's not a huge goal, you know. But the last one made close to 8,000 Australian, which is pretty cool. You know, if I can do better than that this time, you know.
We had some great stretch goals, as I recall, too, because with mine, I ended up getting some stickers, and I saw that there were some other things in there. Like, weren't you like doing something where you could like draw somebody into the comic, which I think is like that's the best goal if you ever ask me. But
a lot of people have brought that up, but the reason why I don't want to do that is because that means the book won't be finished before the Kickstarter.
Oh, okay.
And even if it's only a 1-panel extra I need to draw, the book needs to be done. I'm not going to do the Kickstarter without having it. So yeah, no people in the book. I think the stretch goals I had were a T-shirt and the stickers, and then I had like 5 variant covers.
Yep.
So I don't really like to do lots of like little things like bookmarks and stuff like that. Like people get bookmarks and stuff everywhere. It starts to become like just a piece of paper that you got to find a place for. So anything I added, I wanted it to be like actual value. The stickers are cool. T-shirt's cool. I might do a hat this time.
Oh, nice.
But like I want to keep the focus on the book, so probably more variant covers.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Now, with that, are you going to be enlisting some of your artist friends to?
Yeah, I haven't spoken to them yet, but the plan is to get some more artist friends, maybe some new ones as well. You know, I'll try to get some new people on board, not just the same people I had last time. You know, and I wanted to do like a pin-up section of the book as well.
Oh yeah.
Any other artists, I might put a call out on my Instagram or something and be like, anyone who wants to possibly get a piece in the book, you know, do some fan art or something like that. But we'll see.
That's such a great idea. I love those things where you just literally take out the middle section, even if it's included, like just like slipped in, that's always cool. That's when we were
Yeah,
talking to Rich Woodall earlier this year. He said that's how he got his start with Savage Dragon.
yeah,
Just
man.
by
That's why I want to do it, because I remember getting those comics from back when I was a kid that always had like 2 or 3 pinups in the back. Like
Mhm.
I remember Spawn did it on a few issues.
Yeah.
Dragon did it. Yeah, I thought that was cool. Like, and I would open it up to anyone. Like, I wouldn't like. It would just be a like first in, best dressed sort of thing. Like, if I have 10 spare pages to add, then it'll be 10 pinups, and whoever gets in first gets it. Like, because
Oh wow.
you imagine like if I was a kid, just to see my work in print, like how awesome would that?
Mhm.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I was just at a convention here in Australia last week, and this kid came to my table. He was like 14 years old. He didn't really speak much English. He was from Venezuela, and he was just showing me his art. And I gave him one of my Wonderverse comics. I gave him the sketch variant, the blank cover. And I'm like, if you want to draw something on it, that's what the front cover's for. And he hit me up like 2 days later on Instagram, and he drew something on the cover, and it was so cool. He merged all 3 of the characters from the stories into one character.
Huh.
And
That's
I'm like, man, I'm gonna ask him to put that, if I can put that in there, because how cool! Like, imagine being 14 years
Huh.
old and seeing your work in there.
That's
So
amazing, man. I'm getting cold chills just thinking about that,
that's the
man. That's
dream.
freaking awesome.
yeah. So
I mean, that I'm still holding out hope that now there's finally an anthology turtle book with the black, white, and green. Maybe I'll write something one day that gets in the book.
yeah,
That's the hope. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, but just to find a way to put your stamp on something. And man, for
that's
that
right.
kid, that's got to be amazing.
Yeah, I haven't told him yet, but I'll hit him up closer to the Kickstarter and ask his parents if it's okay.
Oh wow.
I'm sure it will be, but yeah, like I want to have that little section in the book. I think it'll be cool. A bunch of pinups.
Do you remember that back in the day in the Ninja Turtles comics, they used to have a section where kids could send in fan art and all that?
No, I don't, because I didn't really have many turtle comic books when I was a kid. So like here in Australia, I got my comic books from the news agency. I don't know if
Yeah.
you guys have news. Yeah, so and they only really had Marvel and DC, and sometimes they would have a turtle book, like an Archie book and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It was the
Yeah.
Archie ones that I was talking about, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So like I started reading turtle books when I was much older, but when I was a kid, it was all about the toys and the cartoons and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I always loved that myself because I thought it was cool because you could see, and I'm very big on this. Like one of the reasons I want to start this podcast is if we're reading out those books to kids so they can listen to it. So I'm just really passionate about like childhood literacy and such. I love
Yeah.
seeing when kids get so excited and like, what characters are they going to do? Oh, here's Raphael or here's Donatello or something like that, or like at random they're like, hey, here's a picture of this character I really like, Muckman. Be like, what? It's like, well, I guess it makes perfect sense for a kid to like something that's gross and has like a toe jam eyeball guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Are there any obscure characters that you really love? And I know we talked about Kirby, but I always wondered because I love Mondo Gecko and I love Walkabout, which may or may not be a popular character in Australia. But are there any like third tier sort of characters that you really would love to do a cover of?
I actually really like Mondo Gecko as well. He's like my favorite non-turtle character from the
He's so
Turtles.
awesome.
Yeah,
I love the guy so much. Yeah.
yeah. Especially when I was a kid and like I'd see the toys of him on the shelf, and he would just like he would appeal to me so much, man. He had the skateboard, his hat was backwards. I'm like, man, I need that toy. You know. I don't know who else. I'm trying to look at my toy. I got toys on the shelf here. I don't know. I think Mondo Gecko is the one,
Yeah,
probably.
I'm with you. So you think maybe if you get a chance on the Patreon, you could do a nice Mondo Gecko?
Would I be allowed to, man? Because like I don't really. I want to sway away from things I don't own. Like
Oh, okay, all right.
yeah.
Well, I mean, you did just
I
do
mean, I can do one on a Switch cover.
you did the that hostile version of the Ninja Turtles that was incredibly intense.
That wasn't for me, man. That was a commission.
Oh, that was it.
So
Okay, all right.
Oh yeah,
he's a cool
for
guy.
Luna.
Yeah, for Luna. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's got some wacky ideas, but it was a fun commission.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was a fun commission, man. But like, I think I got it. Like I successfully drew exactly what he was asking for.
Yeah.
And,
Poor
but,
Donnie. Yeah, I mean, like, they all had it bad, but Donnie was on the barbecue.
if you want to be freaked out, you got to read like my messages with him. Like when we were talking about, he's asking me like, so which turtle is dead? I want to know which ones are dead, which one's being cooked up, which one's being eaten. Like he
Wow.
wanted to know
God, this
all that.
sounds terrible.
Yeah, it was crazy. Man.
All right, for the
But
record,
it was really fun.
yeah, this is
He's a cool guy, man. He's a real cool guy.
it's a
Oh, yeah.
commission where the movie Hostel was combined with Ninja Turtles. So it's Bebop, Rocksteady, and the Shredder. And is Krang there too?
Nah, Krang's not
No,
in it.
no Krang. So
Baxter's in it.
oh, Baxter's there. That's who it was.
He's dissecting Splinter like an experiment.
Yeah, and the turtles are all basically kind of cut up and displayed and being barbecued and eaten and stuff like that, much like the movie Hostel. So the Eli Roth film from the early aughts of 2000. So it's super niche, and I mean it's cool, but it's an intense look. So
I got some pretty angry comments on my Instagram when I posted that.
oh wow,
Oh
really?
my God, I bet you it scarred some people for life.
I could see that.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, it was like my best performing post all year. So
Well, if you piss people off, then you did a good job.
Yeah.
That's
our strategy. Oh, that's really crazy. Yeah, I wanted to bring that up. So how do you deal with that? In terms of things, do you just ignore it or do you go after them? Like, what's the
the comments?
Yeah.
Oh man, who cares?
Yeah, that's
who cares?
I get it. It's
Just
one of
kind
those
of
things.
chuckle.
Like I would never intentionally put up anything offensive or anything like that. And I would hope that like I wouldn't accidentally offend anybody. But man, with that stuff, like someone said this should have come with a warning, like because I put it up in pieces where you scroll through like it's carousel on Instagram. Someone said you should have had a warning slide. I'm like, yeah, maybe. Maybe I should have had a warning slide. But you know what, man? Like when there's like girls shaking their asses on Instagram and stuff, like this is the least. Like this is the not that
Yeah,
bad. Like there's so much worse.
This is made up characters that are, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Like who cares?
I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
I think maybe because it was turtles, and like majority of turtle fans aren't used to seeing that stuff done to the turtles. Maybe that's why they were a bit freaked out.
Dude, I don't know. It's weird too because like after reading The Last Ronin, with everything that happened there, granted they didn't show a lot of what happened except for like Raph was right there. But then you go and read The Lost Years. That was pretty violent. Like I was just today going through issue number 5 again, and like Mikey stabs like 6 people in the head with a scythe. So I'm like, this is kind of a lot, and I mean, this is a lot more than people probably remember. So with the Lost Years, it was pretty violent.
Yeah.
I mean that's what turtles were, man. Like the turtles were violent. Like those early Mirage issues were violent. I haven't read all of the Lost Years. I've read the first 2 issues, and just from the first 2 issues, I could sense like this might be really violent.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Scenes and stuff. Like I'm like this could get pretty dark. But yeah, I mean,
it has its moments to it. It's there's a certain amount of like pathos to it where you can kind of see, okay, this is where Mikey turns, but there's also parts of it that kind of go long and you're like, oh, this was 10 years, what? So it's kind of like it is confusing in some way. So I'd love to like pick Tom Walt's brain about it sometime and just ask him. But yeah, it's a good read, it's a good follow-up. Is it as good? No. Whatever is going to beat the first Last Ronin, I don't think it's possible. It kind of shocked us all to the point where we're like, well, then what happened?
Yeah. Have any of you guys read Last Ronin 2?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. I'm waiting for issue 2. I'm seeing where it's going to take us because I'm intrigued on it. Just kind of waiting for it. But of course, Last Ronin always has delays.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited by it because it ended on a cliffhanger, and it's not a cliffhanger like, oh my god, is somebody going to die? But it's like, I can't wait to see what's going to happen next, and I need answers. So it's fun. It's definitely a fun issue, and I like all the characters in it going into it. So it's got like a big advantage on the Lost Years because you already know who these characters are. You don't have to do a backstory, and then you just run with it. And I'm like, oh, I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got the first issue. I haven't read it yet. I should get around to it, but I've got a pile of comics that I haven't read. So
What are you reading besides Turtles these days? What do you like?
I was reading John Romita's one on Spider-Man,
Okay.
but that's all because I like John Romita Jr.'s art so much. But yeah, man, apart from that, like I haven't really read much new stuff, man. I'm reading my old stuff again and again and again. You know, like I just reread all of I'm a big Spider-Man dude. Like I love Spider-Man.
Yeah, I remember.
I just reread all of the first run Romita Jr. did on Spider-Man, like in the early 2000s.
Was that the one with Ezekiel?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So what happened was I went to watch Madam Web. I saw Ezekiel on the screen. I'm like, you know what? This movie was shit. Let me go read that comic again.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and that was the J. Michael Straczynski run, I think.
He's gonna be in Australia next week. I'm gonna go see him.
No kidding. Yeah. He did a Silver Surfer book that I absolutely love, and I am not a fan of Babylon 5. I'm just not. But his book, Silver Surfer, I want to say Requiem, where Silver Surfer was dying, and it's excellent. I highly recommend that to anybody who if you like the characters of Silver Surfer and Galactus, read this book. You know, it's just a one shot that he did, but it was awesome. And
have you read his Spider-Man one?
I have, yeah. Yeah, I've read his Spider-Man stuff.
One of my favorite ever Spider-Man ones, man. I think that's so good.
I think that's the best comic work he's ever done. And I mean, he did what was it, Midnight Sun, and what's the Powers ones? I forget what it is. But that was really good too. The one with the Patriot and the Poet and Cassandra and all them. I forget what it is. They kind of based the show Heroes on it, and they kind of ripped it off. And actually, The Boys is kind of loosely ripping it off a little bit too. But that was really good. Like his stuff. Like I don't know why it escapes my brain at the moment, but yeah, he's a really prolific writer. Yeah. I like he's got his start writing for cartoon shows like The Real Ghostbusters. So if you guys are ever into The Real Ghostbusters, there's an episode that's called like Welcome to Lupusville, where they go and all these people are locked in the basement. And it turns out that they're werewolves in a town that was taken over by vampires. And then in the end, it's this big battle between werewolves and vampires. And Egon is just like, you know what happens when a vampire bites you, right? And what happens when a werewolf bites you? And then they just keep changing sides. And oh, it's so cool. Yeah. It's just like one of those things you're like, oh, this is crazy. You know, like they're fighting each other and then they turn into each other. And it's like, it's so good. And that was early, like 1987 work from him.
I didn't know that. I didn't know he was writing cartoons.
Yeah, back then I think He-Man and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if his He-Man stuff was any good, but who knows? So, but yeah, I'm a cartoon historian myself, so I go back on that kind of stuff. I like it.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, but Spider-Man. So, do you think that we would see some crossover stuff with you, or maybe you'd try some Marvel stuff?
Well, I just finished doing about 55 trading cards for Upper Deck Marvel.
Nice. Oh, shit. Yeah. That's fantastic.
I can't tell you what sets they were, but they were cool. And they come out in about 6 months. I think. So
are these digital or will they be physical?
They're sketch cards. So the original art on the card, and they're gonna be like inserted into random packs.
Oh. Can you tell us what characters?
Nah, that'll give it away.
Okay.
I can definitely say it's Marvel.
Okay.
Right? So I did 2 sets, 2 Marvel sets.
What?
All right. Yeah. And
how many are in a set?
So one set was 30 cards and the other one was 25.
Okay. So total of 55 cards. We have a okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
You're doing the math here. You're going to try to figure out and be like, it looks like
I'm not,
chances are you've got one Colossus.
Well, the thing is like I know like with cards and all that stuff, they have like parallel sets and all that stuff. And you know, like with him having those in Upper Deck, and it depends on how many boxes they put out. So
yeah,
it's going to vary.
Yeah, I was trying to figure it out, and I saw like previous packs of cards that had sketch variants in there, and on the packet it says that 1 in every 180 packs could contain a sketch card.
And there's so that's like a 4-pack of boxes maybe or something. I don't know how many
Maybe.
are. Yeah. Wow. So you
I
have to
don't
buy a
know.
kit.
So
Yeah.
and yeah, but so the way it works is Marvel have to approve all my cards. So they gave me like a list of rules that I have to and like characters that I couldn't draw and stuff. So they gave me a list of rules to follow, and if I haven't broken any rules, and I think if the art's good enough, they get approved. If they get approved, I get paid, and they get put in the packs. So I haven't heard back from them yet, but I think that's a good thing because I finished them maybe 2 or 3 months ago.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So everyone I've heard from that has their cards knocked back, they get a reply within like a couple of days saying these are declined.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard anything. All I've heard is from Upper Deck. Upper Deck has said these look awesome, so that's a good sign.
That's a
So
great sign.
I'm thinking
Mhm.
I'm thinking they should get through. You know, if not all of them, most of them. But I don't think I broke any rules. So
That's so crazy too that they have rules because you think back into like the 70s and all that. It's like here's a thing smoking a cigar or like
yeah,
Wolverine doing something like that. He's drinking a
well,
beer. It's like
no smoking, no drinking.
yeah.
I couldn't draw any guns.
Okay.
I couldn't draw any uniforms that were battle damaged. So no blood or battle damage.
Okay.
Like kid friendly stuff, and then they were like pretty specific on I couldn't draw any movie variations of the costumes.
Okay.
So
So
if
like
I
if
draw,
you did Star Lord, it'd have to be the comic Star Lord.
that's right. Like if I do Iron Man, it can't be like the movie armor. So I was thinking about that. That was like the one rule that was probably hard to follow because a lot of the modern costumes they look like the movie costumes.
Yeah.
Like so I would just draw classic versions of everything. Like we're talking like Silver Age versions of every character. All my
Yeah.
costumes are Silver Age. Because I'm like, that way there can't be any confusion.
I love seeing when you draw stuff like Wolverine and all that. Obviously, the Dark Claw I love, but I think that you've got like a great sort of style that lends to those sort of dynamic characters like that.
I think
And your
so.
Spider-Man's amazing too. You know,
I always struggle with Spider-Man. But
well, I could see that like with like the webs and all that, and keeping the sort of the lines and all that. It's got to be ridiculous.
well, I think it's more because like I love Spider-Man so much. He's my favorite, one of my favorite characters. And then I love so many different versions of Spider-Man. Like I love Todd McFarlane's version, and
Yeah.
then I love John Romita Jr.'s version. And then I find myself like always I never draw him the same. Like in one version I've drawn him with big eyes, and then another version I've got small eyes, and I can never I can never find my own Spider-Man style yet. So
I
it's
like
probably
the Bagley style. Like
yeah, Bagley's awesome.
Bagley's probably my favorite. I interestingly enough, I like when Spider-Man had like those really small sort of eyes, like in Amazing Fantasy, like way back. I always
Yeah, I
thought
like
that was
that
a cool
too.
look.
I like the big eyes too, but like, I like Eric Larson's work as well.
Oh, Eric Larson's, I think, my number one favorite. Like I love Bagley and all that. Larson, there's this one cover with Beast and Spider-Man on it. I think it's the best thing I've ever seen. You know,
Yeah, I
it
know what you're talking about. Yeah,
yeah,
the yellow
it's so
background.
good.
Yeah, I've got that. Yeah, I mean, my favorite is John Romita Jr. I
Yeah.
think he's like an acquired taste. I know a lot of people don't like his stuff, but I think that I think his art just lends itself to drawing specifically Spider-Man so well. Like his Spider-Man, I think is like one of the best Spider-Mans.
I would say his Punisher for me is
Yeah,
the version I think of in my head. And I'm not like a huge fan of the character the Punisher, but I mean, if I'm thinking of him, I'm thinking of probably the JR Punisher. And I go back to when he was doing X-Men, in the 80s,
yeah,
right after Paul Smith. Like he had that brief period and it was all like it's crazy because, like you said, it's an acquired taste. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. And I couldn't imagine him doing like an entire book with all like female characters. I could not imagine what that would even look like.
yeah.
Like
I
same
mean,
thing
like,
with Frank Miller. I couldn't imagine a Frank Miller book like that. That would be terrible.
yeah,
Like Frank Miller's would be terrible. Like JR would figure it out. But his Punisher is so good. And
yeah,
some of these characters that he does, it's like this character looks dirty. He looks like he's just been through hell. He looks like he's been beaten the hell down,
yeah.
and he does that so well, probably better than anybody.
Well, I think like, man, I think his storytelling is probably like the best in the business. Like I can read his pages without reading a word.
Yeah.
You know, like I look at his stuff a lot because of the storytelling, and even the newer stuff, the newer Spider-Man stuff, like it really, I don't think it really holds up to his old Spider-Man stuff. You know, specifically, I'm looking at certain panels and stuff. I'm like, this anatomy looks, like I remember it being better. Maybe like he's getting, I don't know, like he's probably older now as well, but the storytelling is still like on point. Like the pages just flow so well.
I think that's the part that gets better with age is the storytelling. Like if we look at like some of these guys, like a lot of people in the Turtles world talk about like early Jim Lawson and all that. And Jim has like this great composition where whenever he puts something together, it's like just like you said, you could read what's going on without a word. And he just throws it there on the page. And I've just seen that improve with age with the stuff that he does. Like the covers, because he doesn't really do like sequential work anymore and all that, but like the covers that he does, it's like, oh yeah, he's telling a story,
Yeah.
Right. I see that, and it's exciting too. I'd like to see John Romita Jr. do a Turtles cover. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see him doing a Casey Jones thing. That would be no problem.
Imagine a Casey Jones miniseries by him. That would be awesome.
Oh, who would write it? That's the question. Well, obviously, we talked about it. Rob Denner would write it. Okay.
You took the words right out of my mouth because it's exactly who I was going to. Rob Denner.
That's exciting. That's exciting. So you're reading some Spider-Man comics. Myself, I read Daredevil. All of that. Another great covers and all that John Romita Jr. did. I'm a bit behind on that, but I like the street level stuff, and I feel like Spider-Man's right there.
Yeah.
Batman, like all of that kind of stuff. Like I'm not into the cosmic stuff, but I will sound a bit hypocritical here because I feel like the Turtles, when they go into space, are some of the best stories that we ever get. And I love that. And I'm like, well, let's go back into space and fight a giant shark. Like, let's do that. Can we do that? Did you get a chance to go through and read issue 150?
No, I'm not up to date at all, man. Like I haven't read the IDW run since like issue 110.
Okay, all right.
If I show you, like, if you saw my table here, I'd have like there's probably like 250 comics stacked up on the table that I haven't read. But I gotta catch up.
And I mean, you don't want to burn out either. Like that's the whole thing. You don't want to burn out by just going through everything and you're like, oh, I got to do this for work now, And I mean, I used to do comic reviews, and I had to do 6 a month, when I was doing all kinds of books like Bloodshot and from Valiant, and I was doing Turtles and Batman and stuff and Justice League, and by the end, I'm like, I hate this writer. I hate this artist. Why did they make me, like, I was taking it personally, and I'm like, why do they make me sit through this terrible reveal? Obviously, it's Deathstroke the Terminator. He's on the cover, and you have to be careful with that sort of burnout in this world where it's like, I don't ever want to be in a circumstance where I'm like, stupid Michelangelo. He doesn't even like pizza in this issue. It's like, so I look at it as a reward.
I'm actually very conscious of, like, if I look at too many comics, it's sort of like I start to try to emulate people in my art.
Oh, okay.
So I actually had to, I don't know if you remember, but the last time we done this show, I had like posters on the wall, and I took them down because I'm like, if I keep looking at other people's art, I'd end up like trying to emulate them too much.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I'm actually very conscious of that. Like I've actually, it's probably one of the reasons why I read less now, is because if I consume too much, I'll end up finding someone that I admire too much. And I'm like, I want to be like them now, and my art just starts to change.
Wow.
And you want to be like you.
Yeah, I want to be like me. Like I want to take from other people as well that I can learn from, but I want it to look distinctly like my own stuff,
Just got a light bulb. Here you go.
Yeah.
Got a plan for you. Okay. Get your art, blow them up, make posters, and put them on your wall.
Oh, that's a smart idea. Like get a big Wonderverse poster.
Yeah, but then what happens when, like, because when I look at my art, like I'll draw it, and then a few days later I look at it again, and I'm like, I hate this. I can do better. So I'll be tearing down posters every day.
Is there something that you feel that you've grown from as an artist, like since your published work, like maybe from the Turtles issue 100 or your last Ronin covers and all that? Do you think that you're better now?
Oh, definitely, man. Definitely. Like I look at that issue 100 cover, and I'm still very proud of it because at the time that was my best work.
Yeah.
But there's so many little stupid mistakes on there, you know. And even in this cover that I just did, like as soon as we sent it off to IDW, I'm looking at it. I'm like, hey, there's a mistake in this, like a perspective mistake.
Oh, okay.
Which just pisses me off. You know, it makes me so angry because I didn't pick up on it. You know, but I'm definitely a lot better now. Like a lot better, I think. You know, I hope. I think like my anatomy is better, my perspective is better, everything is just a little bit better. You know.
You've got a good discerning eye and all of that. I mean, I love everything I've ever seen, including like I've seen people at cons show me sketchbooks. They're like, oh yeah, this I got Camillo did Bebop and Rocksteady. So, you know, I've seen a fair amount of your stuff at this point. So I mean I like the idea of pushing forward and doing new boundaries and all that. I don't think you're in danger of copying JR there, you know, from his
Oh,
Spider-Man run, because you could not be farther from his art style. You know?
yeah, I know, but there was times earlier. So like I started drawing, you know, and trying to pursue it like professionally maybe about 10 years ago. Before that, I was working as a product designer. All right. So when I quit my old job to pursue this, I was like, I had in mind the artists that I wanted to be like. And I was just becoming like cheap copies of them, you know?
Nice.
Like
Okay.
like Eric Larson was one of them.
Yeah.
So like I just learned how to draw like Eric Larson, you know? And I don't want to be like just like another Eric Larson, you know? Like I want to have my own
Your
style and
own.
stuff. But I heard someone say it, like I actually think it was Eric Larson. He said in an interview that like your mistakes become your style. Like everything you do wrong becomes your style.
Yeah.
For
Mhm.
as long as I was looking at all these other artists, I was just making the same mistakes they were and not making my own mistakes. So I was just looking more like them. You know, so and like I even think about like if I want to get a job one day, like drawing a monthly book, why would they hire me if they've already got Eric Larson? If my stuff looks like Eric Larson, why would the hell would they want to hire me?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So I see it like a lot, like with like Santa Luca's art. I see a lot of artists like trying to like they bring in a lot of elements of Santo's designs, you know. And I don't mean like working artists. I mean like just people I scroll through.
Oh no, I
On,
get you. Yeah.
you know, like, and I'm like, well, and their stuff looks awesome, but I'm like, but Santo already does that. You know, Santo already draws those turtles. So why would you want to draw them as well? You know?
Yeah, man. I was just reading his book, the Secret Origins of the Foot Clan and all that, and I was
Yeah,
just going through it. I'm like, damn, man. Like he did this whole thing. This is remarkable. And
yeah,
it's not just like the turtles that he does that's amazing. And I'm like, this whole book is human characters. And then there's Bebop and Rocksteady fighting a mutant whale. I'm like, this is Gonzo, and I can't believe he did this. It's so freaking good. I'd be
well,
so angry, you
have
know,
you
if
read
it was me.
his earlier ones? You're talking about that Secret Destiny one that just came
Secret
out.
Destiny. Yep,
Yeah,
just
so
came
the
back.
Secret Origins of the Foot, which I don't know what year that came out in, but I think it was like early 2010 or something like that. But there's some scenes in that book where he's drawn things with a fisheye lens.
Oh
And
yeah.
every now and again, I'll open up that page where the turtles are like on the back of a van, and it's a fisheye lens scene. And I'm like, how the hell did he do this?
There it is. This is Untold Destiny of the
Yeah,
Foot Clan. And
yeah,
it's phenomenal. And the work is just so good, you know. And I imagine that would absolutely frustrate the shit out of me if I was an artist. So
yeah,
because I mean, yeah, to your point, everybody's copying him, you know, like just because it's so damn good. Like
yeah,
if you want to make something look distinct, he already figured out how to crack that code. So
yeah,
I'm just saying I like that there's distinctive art where it's like I can look at this and I can say, oh, that's Chris Vance art, or oh,
Yep.
that's Camillo's art, or that's
yeah,
Santo's art. You know, it's cool to me that there's that many different variations. Like Gavin Smith is so different than Dan Duncan, And that's a cool thing about the Turtles is they weren't married to one particular style all the way through. So
Yeah.
it's like there's this big moment that every one of these artists has, like Bram Ravel or Dave Wachter, you know. So it's pretty cool. And I feel like they built that in with the IDW style. So it's like, hey, this is Camillo's time, you know, where it's like they could do something like that. Sarah Myers having a moment, you know, like that. This is Sarah's time. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. I like
Well,
I like all these things that we're discussing. It's fun to just talk about art and things like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it
I
is.
always thought I had an artist mind, but the hands not so much. So
It's just
Yeah,
practice.
these hands are
Man.
crippled.
It's just
These hands are
practice.
crippled.
yeah, I can copy. I can do a very very nice mimic job. But it'll have all those mistakes you're talking about, but it's like, hey, here's a copy picture of Booster Gold I did. You know, I'd never have something where it's like this is an original picture of whatever doing something. I leave that to the professionals, my friend.
Everyone was an amateur once, but don't
That is
forget.
true.
I'll stay an amateur.
You say I'll just do Jackson Pollock like stuff where I just throw paint. So
Yeah.
Yeah, nice
are
little
you
mistakes.
are you reaching out to any different sort of mediums lately? Like are you doing like painting or mostly digital? Like is there anything that you've kind of like pushed the boundaries with?
I've experimented with ink wash a fair bit. I like ink wash a lot.
I do too.
Um,
It's gorgeous.
but yeah, mostly it's just traditional inks and markers. You know, I think because like I have my mind set so much on getting onto the monthly book of the Turtles or any title. Like I just want to draw a monthly comic. I've got my heart set on it so much that like I'm just like I have to just pencil and ink, pencil and ink, pencil and ink. You know, so I haven't really experimented with other things. But the markers, like they keep me busy, man. Like there's so many different ways to use the markers. Um, Same as the ink wash. Um, on the Marvel cards I used a lot of watercolor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so yeah, a few different things, but nothing too crazy. I used to do sculpting. I used to sculpt with clay.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that was completely different, you know.
Oh, that's amazing too.
Yeah.
I would love to see a turtle sculpted from you.
Yeah, sculpted piece would be
I
cool.
wouldn't expect
got a-
anything less. No, just kidding.
I've got some sculptures here, but they're not turtles. I've got like a Hulk and a Colossus and a Groot from Guardians.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you were familiar with Groot when you went into the sketch off where
Yeah.
you won for your Groot.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll be honest, but I didn't want to draw Groot. Like when I heard that was the topic, I'm like, oh man, Groot, because I just knew that Ruth was gonna knock it out of the park.
I think everybody was worried, about Groot like going in because it's essentially a tree with a face. So,
Yeah.
it's like, how do you make this interesting? So, Mike must have not had a stick to draw with. That's the
Right.
no. I mean, but I mean, you look at it this way. Anybody could win. You guys are all immensely talented
Yeah.
guys, and I mean, learning from each other and stuff like that. And I like to see where this goes. I'm excited to see what's next for you personally. Like I said, I had to pre-order that book on, and what is it, Shellheads United?
Yeah, Shellheads, yeah.
Shellheads United, Art House. Sorry, Randy. Max
Max
Auction
House and
House and Papa Cebo's.
Yeah.
Man, so we're gonna get cards from you, hopefully, if that's a thing we can look
Hopefully.
forward to. What's the dream book? Is the dream book Spider-Man then?
No, the dream book is Turtles, man.
Oh, dream book is Turtles. Okay.
The dream book is Turtles, man. The dream scenario is I do a mini series on Turtles.
Okay.
You know? A Kirby mini series. That's the dream scenario.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I'm all for it.
I'll be happy. Like I'll be just as happy if they just put me on like the regular run, or like on the Saturday morning adventures run on something. I just want to draw Turtles, like the actual book, and contribute to the story and stuff like that. You know, I want to be able to say there's like 2 or 3 issues out there that I drew.
I like turtles.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Then you can push, make a new goal and all that. Like, and I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Hopefully it happens one day. Hopefully someone notices me. But like the way to get noticed is to do like these retailer variants, and hopefully, you know, people start seeing my stuff, and you know, like I still feel myself as fairly unknown. You know, like I don't think I'm.
It blows my mind when you say it, though. It's so
Yeah.
funny, you know, because in the turtle circle, you're well known.
Yeah, maybe in your turtle circle, like you know, like I don't know, man. Like I do have like a really good following on social media,
Yep.
and I know that they're all there for my turtle stuff because like that's the posts that get the good engagement is all my turtle stuff.
Yeah.
So I know there's a lot of turtle fans that like my stuff, but yeah, I still do feel like fairly unknown. I actually feel more unknown in Australia than I do in America.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, population-wise, we kind of have you beat. So, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, like when I go to a convention in Australia, no one knows anything that I've done.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
but as
insane.
opposed to at Granite, like everyone knew my work.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, coming into it. Yeah, very, very,
Yeah.
very
We
much.
know
so.
In
we know
Australia,
who
I
you
still
are.
have to, yeah, in Australia, I still have to like sort of convince people sometimes, you know. So
What's popular there in Australia?
turtles are hugely popular, man. Like there's a big turtles following in Australia. I don't know, man. Like I could be wrong. Like don't get me wrong. I do have good support in Australia. Like I'm very grateful, but I just do realize that like most of my support comes from the American crowd. You know.
I was thinking DC books seem pretty big there because you've got obviously Tom Taylor doing Nightwing and
Taylor,
Titans
yeah,
and all that. So
yeah,
that's kind of like he's the hottest writer besides James Tinian right now. You know, it's
yeah.
those two
We
top of the
got
top of
like
the food chain.
Nicola Scott as well. Nicola Scott was
Nicholas
just
Scott. Yep.
yeah. And then there's like my two like comic book godfathers, my mentors, John Sommariva and David Yarden.
Oh, I've never heard of John. That's funny.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. That John guy. Who's that John guy? I don't know who he is.
He asked me if you were the guys that did the podcast.
yeah, son of a bitch.
I love John, man. He's so awesome.
But
yeah,
yeah, like,
I'm looking forward to
John and
hopefully
David
get
have
them in
both
the
done work
second.
for DC.
Oh, Dave, and you said David, and I'm sorry, I
David
couldn't.
Yarden, so he's done work for DC, and but yeah, man, like there's a huge turtles community. Like last year, Kevin and
Freddie.
Freddie were here, and man, the lines for like Kevin were out the room.
Oh yeah.
Like it was a huge show up, man. Like a lot of turtle fans here. There's a Facebook page like Turtle Fans of Australia or something like that, and
Really?
like they're one of the real big turtle groups. And yeah, man, like I do get a lot of support from all of them. I notice like where the comments come from, and they're from America. So
How about that?
sometimes I think people don't know I'm Australian.
Oh, maybe that's
You
what
know?
you have an Italian last
Sometimes
name.
I think they see like such a long last name, and they go, "He can't be from here. He's from somewhere else." You know? So
Yeah,
yeah,
That's crazy.
you're
Yeah.
built different. Just saying.
yeah.
Are you at a point where you're taking commissions and all of that while you're doing all of this stuff?
Nah, so I'm gonna take commissions again just before Granite, like maybe a month before Granite, so I can, you know, make some money before I even get there.
Yeah,
But
no, I could hope so. Yeah.
but yeah, right now it's I have a few commissions to do, but right now it's just staying on top of my Patreons and working on my book.
Yeah,
So,
I love the Patreon. One of the things I really like I think the first month I started, you did some really cool Green Lantern stuff that was in there,
yeah,
and I really enjoyed your take on that.
that was for Randy.
Yeah. Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm looking forward to Villain Tober if you're gonna do that again this year. Because
Yeah,
your Omega Red just blew my mind. So
yeah, we'll see. Maybe like because I done that with a bunch of other artists. That was with Stephen King and Chris Vance and RZP, all these dudes that I met from Granite, and then one of my Australian friends here. And then by the end of the month, like heaps of people were jumping on board. So maybe we'll do it again. Maybe we'll do something different. Maybe it'll be like it won't be Villain Tober. Maybe it'll be something else. I don't know.
yeah, that would be cool. Can't go wrong with Muppets.
Yeah,
Just
Muppet
saying.
Tober.
Yeah, Muppets over.
I'm all
That's
for
awesome.
it.
Man, this has been a lot of fun. It's always great to talk to you. Eric, did you have any questions specifically for Camillo?
No, we're not. You want to talk about pineapple on pizza because I think we asked him last
No, we
time.
already
Didn't
asked
we?
him. So,
Yeah,
no,
no.
he
Yeah.
talks
So
about I did want to ask about pizza and all of that because we know that you are an aficionado.
Yeah.
I have always put a pizza recipe at the end of this. Any unique pizzas or anything that's classic that you've been into lately? Have you been making pizzas?
I haven't been making pizzas for a while, but I have had a very unique pizza that I thought was really awesome. It was called the Basting, and it had spicy salami, cheese, and then it had a spiced honey all over it.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Spiced honey?
like it was
Yeah,
like
like
a chili infused honey.
No red
Yeah.
sauce on it?
No red sauce.
Ooh,
Yeah, it was really good.
that sounds
It
good.
was
Yeah.
really good.
Imagine
Yeah.
that in like a stone pizza oven or something like that. You pull it
Yeah.
out, put the honey on afterwards. That's oh
Yeah.
my god, that sounds so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait till Eric finds out the recipe that I put into the Masters of the Universe episode. Wait till he finds out that recipe. He ain't gonna like it, but that's okay. So, but yeah, that's all I have for you. I'm really appreciate you coming on and talking to us again. Always a pleasure. You know, we enjoy having you on the show.
Thanks to you, man. Thanks to
We're,
you guys.
we're gonna say people can find you at Instacam_Illo on
Yep.
Instagram and
Yep.
check out that Patreon. Like I said, I'm
Yep.
a member. I
The
enjoy it.
Patreon and head over to Shellheads to buy the cover for the 40th anniversary issue.
And
Yeah.
we'll have a link to that when we put out the episode, so you can go and you can pre-order.
Cool.
All right, with that, we're gonna come back with our pizza recipe of the day, and we thank our guest Camillo and Eric. We'll see you next time, right, bud?
All right.
See you.